Last August, I stayed in my uncle's apartment in an aging complex on the edge of the city. It was a heavy, stagnant summer, and I was the only person living on the top floor. The building's architecture was simple but isolating. My bedroom sat at the very top, with nothing but a concrete ceiling between my bed and the massive industrial water tank on the roof directly above me. Before my uncle left, the neighbors stopped me in the hallway. They told me never to go near the rooftop tank after midnight. They didn't explain why, just that the roof was off limits once the sun went down. I didn't think much of it. Old buildings have urban legends and eccentric neighbors. I locked the apartment door, ignored the warning, and fell asleep. That dismissal was my first mistake. Being alone in that quiet apartment, having pushed the warning out of my mind, I had no reason to be on guard. I was completely vulnerable to what would happen. At exactly 3:02 a.m., the silence broke. Slow, hollow, metallic knocks began vibrating through the ceiling. The knocking stopped, followed immediately by heavy water splashing. Something massive was thrashing inside the tank above. Fear is a physical thing. My heart was hammering against my ribs as I grabbed a heavy flashlight. I had to know what was making those sounds in a building that was supposed to be empty. When I stepped onto the roof, the temperature dropped. A thick fog had rolled in, and the splashing had vanished. It was so quiet I could hear my own breathing. That silence felt worse than the noise. The sounds hadn't just stopped, they had drawn me out into the open. I was standing in the middle of the roof, completely exposed. I cut through the fog with the flashlight beam. The light landed on the rusted, looming silhouette of the water tank. Then I heard it. A faint, wet whisper coming from behind the metal walls of the tank. A woman's voice, barely audible, saying, "Please, help me." I climbed the ladder and pulled back the heavy lid. The smell hit me instantly, a thick, overwhelming stench of stagnant water and rotting meat. I shone the light inside. Floating just beneath the surface was a dense mat of long black hair, drifting slowly upward toward the beam. A pale, bloated hand shot out of the water and grabbed my wrist with a grip like a vice. I screamed and threw myself backward, falling off the ladder and hitting the concrete roof. I scrambled away, gasping. I stared at the ground. Wet, bare footprints began appearing on the concrete, one after another, walking from the tank toward where I lay. The physical contact and the prints on the ground proved I wasn't just hearing things. Whatever had been inside that tank was now out, and it was moving toward me. I survived the night locked in the apartment. The next morning, the police arrived, and the rooftop was suddenly crawling with officers and investigators. They showed me an old missing persons report from 5 years ago. A woman had disappeared from this building without a trace, and the case had been cold ever since. The neighbor's warning was real. The water tank had been her grave for 5 years, hidden in plain sight. I felt a sense of finality. I believed that by finding her, I had put the horror to rest. I thought the ordeal ended with the discovery of the body. The police took their statements and prepared to transport the remains. The mystery was solved, but a cold feeling stayed with me, even in the morning sun. As the lead investigator was heading back to his car, he stopped and looked back at me. He asked me a single question. He wanted to know which neighbor had come up to open the heavy, deadbolted rooftop door for the police when they arrived. My heart stopped. I told him I hadn't been back to the roof since the night before. I assumed the door was already open for them. I realized then that I hadn't escaped. By prying that lid open and fleeing the roof, I had left every door unlatched. I hadn't just found a body, I had invited the thing that took her to follow me downstairs.